Welcome to AMF Boxing, and today I'm giving my reaction to Joyce vs Carlos Takam. Carlos won the first few rounds. He came out, he was using overhand rights, he was using body shots on Joyce. They looked really effective. I feel like Carlos's gas tank let him down. He seemed to slow down once he got to the 4th, 5th round. I feel like he slowed down and Joyce was picking up the pace. That's what Joyce does. He outworks his opponents and takes every punch they can throw. Joyce's defence looked a little bit sloppy at times. Was leaving his chin wide open. I think moving forward, if he wants to beat Usyk or Joshua, he'll have to work on his defence and his countering skills. I feel like Joyce can take some of the best punches in the heavyweight division, and he has one of the better gas tanks. He can go like that all through the fight, which it impresses me quite a lot, how a big guy can keep that pace throughout the whole fight. He's a big guy, like. Yeah, Takam won the early rounds. Joyce was picking up the pace. So from the 5th and the 6th round, Joyce won quite comfortable. Carlos looked like he burnt himself out a little bit, and he did that in the Chisora fight as well. I feel like Carlos Takam. I've been a big fan of Joyce's for a while now. I feel like he changes the style to the opponent, which I like to see. I don't think he should fight every opponent the same way. He looked a little bit different this time to how he looked against Daniel Zabat. Carlos shown he has a lot left in the tank, because those first 4 rounds I feel like a lot of heavyweights would have got knocked out or dropped from those big overhand rights which were landing. I was very surprised that Joyce took them quite easy, actually. Like, if you watch the fight, he didn't stumble or anything like that. They were basically bouncing off his head, like, you know. But I like watching Joyce. A lot of people don't like him, but he reminds me of an old George Foreman. And if you watch George Foreman's fights, he weren't the fastest, he weren't the most explosive, but he had raw power and could take a great shot. If you go back and watch Carlos Takam's fight, he's give everyone a great fight. He give Joshua a good fight, he give Alexander Povetkin a good fight, he give Derek Chisora a good fight. There's probably a few other people there that I'm missing out. I've watched a few of Carlos's fights, and he brings it every time. The only time I've ever seen him properly knocked out was against Alexander Povetkin. And I feel like Joyce does well in spurts, and he looked a little bit like he weren't using his size as much. You know, every now and again it'd be nice to see him using a few feints to keep Carlos second guessing. Yeah, so I feel like that. I was listening to Ben Davison in ringside, and he had a great thing. Like, Joyce needed to use a few feints, lean back a few times when he's up against the ropes, so the shorter man is further away. So if he's here and he leans back a little bit, he's further away on the ropes, as he's a taller, longer fighter. And then when we get to the 6th round, Joyce comes across the ring, lands a left hook to the head, stumbles Carlos Takam. He sees Carlos is here, he runs over, lands a good few body shots, lands a nice combination. Carlos was still standing, but he didn't answer back. There was at least 20 unanswered punches, and I feel like I was a great stoppage by the referee. No one wants to see anyone get seriously hurt in boxing. Obviously, everyone likes to see a knockout, but you don't want to see a guy taking unnecessary punishment. Big respect to both fighters. They did really well. I got my money's worth last night. I can't wait to see what's next for Joe Joyce and for Carlos Takam, but mainly for Joe Joyce, as he's now the WBO mandatory for Joshua Usyk winner. I would like to see him fight Anthony Joshua, a British heavyweight fight. Would be great to see. I think Joe Joyce has a great chance of beating either guy. A lot of people will disagree with me and say he's too slow, he's this and that, but I feel like Joe Joyce is a great heavyweight. He just he has different attributes which make him a great heavyweight. So hopefully we'll see him fight the winner of Joshua Usyk, or fight for the vacant WBO belt if Joshua decides to give it up to fight Fury or someone else. So yeah, it was a great fight while it lasted. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Like and subscribe to AMF Boxing. I am out.